While our biological age that matters most determines the length of health span or amount of time we'll maintain a good health. Francis Palmer, MD, a world-renowned board-certified facial plastic surgeon and author of What's Your Number, has spent more than 3 decades of his career helping people look younger by altering outside appearances, but says there's a more sustainable way to feel and look younger by reducing your biological age. Now, and no surgeries required. So, Dr. Palmer, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
All right, what is the difference between chronological age and biological age, and which number do we need to pay more attention to?
Well, chronological age is just simply how old are you. So you take today's date, subtract your birth date, that's your chronological age. Biological age, however, is at what age level does your body function? And so that goes back to the old saying, 60 is the new 40. That means a 60-year-old chronologically acts biologically like they're a 40-year-old. Obviously something everybody's interested in doing.
So now how do you determine your biological age?
There are many different ways to do it. Probably one of the simplest ones is a home saliva test that you can order. And it looks at the amount of methylation in the DNA, which is a fancy term for something that researchers have shown mimics your biological age.
All right. Now, what type of test do you take with this?
It's just saliva.
Okay. All right.
There's blood tests that you can do also. So
I got you.
There's multiple ways that you can do it, but one of the easiest ones just uses a saliva test. You put a little sample in a card. They look at the amount of DNA methylation and they calculate it for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Now, well, let me ask you this: what causes cells to your cells to age faster? Now, somebody says you're aging prematurely, I guess is the word. And I'm going, well, okay. How do you do that?
Yeah. So there's multiple things that impact your biological age. They're in 3 large buckets. So genetic, biological, and environmental. So genetic is just your DNA, and it's basically a roadmap that says exactly how old you're gonna, how old you will be, how you age. And if that was really all there was, then we wouldn't be having these conversations anymore. But the other 2 really are biological and environmental. Biological is basically things like, do you have a chronic or acute disease? Do you have enough of the metabolites or compounds that run some of the bodily functions? So one of the things I wanted to talk today about is a study that was done in aging that reported a proprietary blend of calcium AKG from Rejuvan, REJUVANT, and the website is rejuvant.com, that has calcium AKG alpha-ketoglutarate that's essential to produce energy for every cell in the body. The problem is as we age, starting at 40, we start to lose some of these key metabolites, including AKG, and you can't get it from diet. So you can't get it from the foods that you eat. So something like that would definitely decrease your biological age. And so this study was done in people who took it for an average of 7 months, and they reduced their biological age by almost a decade. It was 8-point-something years. So I think this is a good example of something that you wouldn't expect. It isn't the lifestyle, which is the other category: smoking, lack of exercise, stress. Everybody understands those things, but they don't realize that there could be a biological reason for you to age faster than you should.
We're talking with Dr. Francis Palmer, the author of What's Your Number? Chronological age versus biological age. And you kind of touched on a little bit there that diet and exercise is not always going to be able to, I guess, what do you want to kind of reduce your biological age if you can?
Right. So, it can. So another study in aging was done and recently published, and it included people who signed up for a comprehensive 12-month program where they had diet restrictions, exercise restrictions, sleep restrictions. They had to take special exercise programs to reduce their stress. And at the end of that, they reduce their biological age by 2 years. So you're talking about a bunch of things that would be very difficult to continue to do on a regular basis, most likely,
right,
for most people. But they did find a difference, but it didn't help them in the biologic category. So we could argue which one's the most important. Probably the way that I laid it out. Your genes are the most important, but the biological process will affect how these genes are expressed. So they're pretty important also. And then you can't discount lifestyle changes. I mean, clearly people need to do those. I don't see it as exclusionary. You would do all of it. Why not?
Now, the research you've been involved with, you talked to us a little bit about and told us a little bit about that, but you were involved in showing how a supplement actually reduces the biological age. What does it do to the body to reduce a biological age?
So that was Rejuvent that I just mentioned,
right.
REJUVNT, and that's the calcium alpha-ketoglutarate that your body no longer makes at the same levels as you age. And so it is essential for the energy production of every cell in the body. So the biological age is a measurement of what's going inside, but it isn't just one thing that it's working on. Alpha-ketoglutarate is being looked at by tons of researchers, and it seems like it impacts a lot of different systems. Because again, if it helps produce energy for every cell in the body, it's going to be involved in a lot of different biological mechanisms. What we see is just a result of all of those improvements. But I think it's amazing that they didn't make any lifestyle changes, and they were able to reduce their biological age over 8 years by taking 2 supplements, this REJUVANT, every day.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let me ask you, what is CAKG? I'm not. It's something that we need.
That's the proprietary blend of calcium alpha-ketoglutarate. AKG is
gotcha.
Just an abbreviation for that long fancy word, and it is a proprietary blend. So what that means is if people are interested in getting the supplement that was used in that aging study, they have to go to rejuvant.com
gotcha.
and get it, because there's AKG available all over the internet, but it wasn't the supplement that was used in the study. And the other thing I think people need to know is not all supplements are created equal.
Well, can you get this from food instead of supplements, or no?
No, unfortunately, AKG is one of those things that you can't get from the food that you eat. You have to take a supplement.
Well, I guess this is kind of like you're only as good as you're as young as you feel. I don't know if this is an appropriate saying on this or not, but with our chronological age and our biological age, is there, like, as far as lifespan goes, is there one over the other, or if you improve your biological age, will it extend your chronological age? Has anything been seen in any kind of research so far on that?
Well, there's a lot of research that continues to be done looking for multiple ways to extend our life and extend health span. So I think health span is the way to look at this, because most researchers agree that there's no point in living longer if you're not living in a healthy state. So longevity is how long you live. Health span is how long do you live well at an optimal health. And so that's where a lot of the research is being done now. And in all sorts of things. A lot of these are drugs. Some of them are fairly significant drugs that they're looking at that may make changes. But something like Rejuvant, REJUVANT, is a GRAS, because that stands for generally regarded as safe ingredients. And I think it's in a whole different category when you talk about a nutritional supplement versus, a powerful drug. Is this the only thing? No. As a physician, I think there's going to be all sorts of things that get discovered in the future, but that doesn't help people right now today.
Right.
So it's one of those things, okay, what do you have right now today for me to take? Mm-hmm. And I think the other thing that's meaningful to this is, I would tell anyone who's listening, if you're looking at different supplements, realize, number one, not all supplements are created equally. Two, what is the data that they're talking about? Is it animal data? I mean, animal data is great, but we're not animals, and we're not bacteria. And I think what you need to see human data. It's very difficult to do because human studies are expensive, but there are studies like this study we just mentioned, where they look at what's called real-world data, and real-world data uses human participants. And the idea is that they're actually taking whatever it is they're trying to test, and they're looking at whatever result that you want to talk about. In this case, they're taking calcium alpha-ketoglutarate, and they're looking at reducing the biological age. And then finally, did it do it or not? And in this case, not only did it do it, but it did it 400% more than all the rigorous lifestyle changes. So that's the way I want your listeners to intelligently analyze things that are brought before them. And then if you have any questions, then obviously contact your medical provider to discuss this before taking it. But I think quickly people can see the difference between some of the things that they're presented with.
Well, where can we find some more information and have, be armed with some info that we can talk to our doctors about?
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to go to the website. That's rejuvant.com. And it'll have not only lots of information about the supplement, but a lot about the study that we just talked about, and all sorts of other things that they can look at.
All right, good deal. Thank you so much, Dr. Francis Palmer, and some great information. Of course, we all, want to live another 40, 50 years, feel good about it, though, I'm going for 110.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.